Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be about my creativity journey and let's get started. In the only time that I do remember being exposed to art was when I started American elementary school. They had different lessons and during the school time, and one of them was English class and art class and music lessons class. I remember liking art because it was something different than anything else that I have ever heard of, and it allowed me to be curious and also to use my hands. So I definitely got that ingrained in me. This is me when I was little in elementary. I wasn't really like a super active kid, as far as activities or sports or anything like that. My mom had like 6 kids that she didn't have time for all of us to have like outside the home activities. So the only thing that she would provide for us was in-home activities like reading and art. Nothing to see here. Didn't keep anything. When I started in middle school, I kind of had a little bit of concept that maybe I did like art. I used to draw a lot when I was young, or like around that age, like 11 or 12, 13. I remember liking a lot of my subjects in school if it required me to do something creative, like an illustration or create a little photo book. I definitely like that. The other thing that I got introduced to was film photography. Now, mind you, we did have a film camera at home, but I just didn't know how things worked until I started learning how to use a nicer camera and also how to develop my own film. But I will say that when I was in middle school, I was bunched up with a lot of the kids that were very, very delinquent. And so my photography teacher wouldn't let us use the film camera more than once. We only got to develop one film, and then we only got to print a picture from a pinhole camera, and that was all I had about photography class. I felt like we were limited because we were like not the best kids in the class in school or something. I don't know. But anyways, when I got to 8th grade, I decided that I wanted to apply for the art school, and this is kind of like the prompt that they gave us, like draw something that doesn't look like what you think it would be, like draw an animal. Of course, the girl next to me, who happened to be also from my school, she created this blob with really good hatching. I created a kitty with a tutu. So can you imagine who got in? I was really nervous when I took this test so I can try to get into this high school for performing arts, and I had a lot of doubts, like, was I even talented? Like, is this test is harder because there was more questions? But at the end of the day, I felt like I was very close-minded, and I felt like the only way for me to be a true artist was just to be either in an art school or an art program, and I had neither. When I started high school, it's ironic because I felt like there was going to be more opportunities, but no. The first semester that I started, they got rid of the photography program. They also reduced the art teacher. There was one left, and she was not very instructional, so I didn't learn anything, and I felt like, man, this is all I'm gonna get. I didn't feel like there was much opportunities because obviously there was no good guides for me. I did see an advertisement on the back of 17 magazine, and you can see on here that I had applied for that art instructional school that I guess was created by Charles Schultz. And I did a couple of their remote homework, and then a couple of days or maybe a couple of weeks later, a salesman came to my house telling me like, hey, your daughter's very talented, just pay us $5,000. And my mom was like, nope, I don't have that kind of money. So I felt like no opportunities again, but that's life, right? In college, I had no idea what I was going to do. Thankfully, I graduated with honors from high school, so I got some scholarships to cover like 99% of my schooling. And when I was in college, they did require me to take like an art class or some kind of creative outlet, and I decided to choose photography at the local art school. And let me tell you, that's when I realized in order to get good opportunities, all you needed was money. At least that was my mindset back then. But things have changed a lot when the internet started becoming a lot more open and expanded. So I didn't think I would one day be able to allow myself to be creative, and I wish I had kept this up earlier, but you can't live in regrets. So anyways, in college, I did think about like, okay, well, art is out of my life. Despite there being still a spark, I did allow photography to kind of take over as my creative medium. And some of my friends knew that I was taking photography class, so they asked me like, hey, can you take my graduation photos? And I'm like, sure. And I loved it. I love being in the dark room. I love being creative. I just felt like around that time, like I need something better gear. We always think we need better things, but we really don't. Also, around that time when I was in college, I got exposed to anime, and I was already like 20 years old or 19, I don't remember. But I loved it, and I felt like that introduced me to very comedic characters, and that's still on set in my life, seeing like some really funny animes. And so when I was in college, I didn't know what I was going to do after I graduated. So I started getting a little anxiety. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do what my mom told me, to look for a career that's stable and not take myself too seriously with art. So I felt like my daydreams of being an artist were kind of gone. So I limited myself so much. After several years of not creating art, I decided, no, I'm not going to do art anymore. I'm not talented enough. I don't think it's a stable career. And let me tell you, like, if you think that you only want to be an artist, please don't close your mind. If you have to get a day job, do it. But keep your art next to you. Keep it as if it's your favorite t-shirt, your favorite memorabilia. Keep it with you, because I think that's the only regret that I have, is that I wasn't creative enough to think that I don't have to make art as my profession or career. I can have a job and have art. And so it took me a really long time to accept that I can create a creative life to suit me. And you might not be able to allow the gatekeepers, not allow, but the gatekeepers might not allow you the opportunity that you are seeking, to think that you have to have that title and that they are the only ones to tell you that you are an artist. And let me tell you, it is far from that. You become an artist because you choose to, whether you decide to put a title on it or not. But I think one of the things with growing up, and especially now that I realize it in my 30s to my 40s, is that You create the life you want, and you decide what you want to keep in it and what you want to spend your time and energy on it. And for me, having creativity is so important. It's like breathing air for me. And I made it cater to myself, and I love it. And I wish I knew this earlier. So, in all, with my history with art, it was just really a lot of self limiting beliefs, and we do that a lot to ourselves. But once you grow up, you realize nobody really cares of what you do and say. I mean, they do if you cause harm to others or yourself, but majority of the time people would just live their lives very simply. And I don't think people realize like how short life really is. And now that I'm getting to my 40s, my body is so different from my 20s, from my teens to my 20s to my 30s. You will notice that you have this precious time, and keep records of your art building skills, and start whenever and keep it for yourself. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just do it for the joy of it, and keep it for you and document it for you, because that's something that I feel like a lot of us lose our history, especially when we post everything online, that we really don't have anything tangible. So anyways, instead of me keep blabbering, I hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't get to post a lot of the pictures from my youth. Maybe I'll post them on my blog, because it's been kind of like sad and abandoned. But I'm trying to get more into writing whenever I get the chance. But maybe I'll make like a little flip book or something where you can see my art from my youth. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.